what's Missin Curfew? It's when you kind of play guilty, but you show up.
How nice is a green light on the road, though? No practice tomorrow, no plane, just go.
Scotty Upshaw in the clear, and he scores! Right in front, scores!
A few laughs, a little bit of fun, and obviously a lot of hockey talk.
You're listening to Missin Curfew.
Fellas, coming to you from Hall Pass Media, Newport Beach, it's Obes. We got the whole Missin Curfew squad here. Obes, the up dog, Richie Fella, and Swishy J Swish from the lake in Madison, Wisconsin. Boys, how we doing? Up dog, we'll start with you. Good to see you, fella. How's that thin air treating you? You got acclimated yet, my man?
Oh, buddy, the skin's dry, but the beard's bold, fella. It's nice. I'm up here in Aspen with the family, boys. Happy Canada Day to you all and to all the listeners out there. Life's good, man. I actually, Richie, you'd be happy. I shot 69 fellas at the Aspen Muni the other day. Finally, I got in the 60s, bud. It was nice.
Did you put that in for your handicap or what?
And by the
look it up right now if you put that in.
No, I didn't. I didn't put it in yet, Opes. Wi-Fi wasn't working.
Yeah.
And listen, no one other than Jack Hughes has the club record. Course record, 62 there, not the Jack Hughes as the NHL.
Oh, I was like, what's he play Aspen Muni for?
I sent him a little message. I'm like, bud, you spend a little time in Aspen working on the short game or what, fella? But no, boys, it's life's good. Richie, how we doing, fella? Happy Canada Day.
Happy Canada Day back at you, buddy. That's 69. That's impressive, buddy. Good for you.
Yeah, don't forget to pump that in.
Yeah.
I'll be a hawk on it.
We'll check it post-show and see what's if you see.
It's 3 kids, You're allowed to know.
No, 69, you got to post that. Your low all-time record's got to find a way in there.
Exactly.
At least it's not a tournament score up, so it won't stay forever. But
I know, boys.
Hey, speaking of Canada Day, Richie, I was did a little video this morning, and I was just thinking about Canada Day back in the day, and the first thing that popped into my mind was at Market Street, the Marriott on Market, right into cabin. July 1st. How many years in a row do you think we did it? 3 or 4 we went in there? I was
3 or 4, yeah, that's what I'd say.
Yeah, batting 1,000 I was. Swishy, batting 1,000 in there on Canada's. Didn't miss, fella. Didn't miss.
Holy fuck, goes.
You think the cabin's still kicking, Richie, or what?
I think it's still going. I don't know if it's as good as it was back in the day, but
probably the exact same, huh?
God, we'd shut that place down, wouldn't we?
We'd shut her down and keep her going right back at the Marriott. And boys, we had the connecting doors too, eh? That was a nice touch. Connecting doors, keep it open, just play through, Swish.
Yeah, the old stabbing cabin. That's nice. Nice little setup.
So happy Canada to you, beauty. Swishy, I was loving your Morgan Wallen when you said, here comes Perk Favre. By the way, Morgan Wallen has the best interest in the league, as we all know, but Brett Favre, who I love, and you said, here comes Perk Favre. I was dying, but that was a great post. But how was that show?
It was unbelievable. I mean, I was going in absolutely limping. I had a rendezvous to get there at a wedding in Grand Rapids, Minnesota, which is bumfuck, and I had to drive 3 hours to the Minneapolis airport, then catch a bird. I was delayed, so I literally got there at 9 o'clock, and Wallen came on at probably 9:15. My brother picked me up. We went. Had a nice little setup with the family, but yeah, I was hurting in there. I was off the gas just because I was really hurting from a 48-hour shift. But that walkout, Obes, I mean, it never gets old. I think I've seen him probably 3 times now, and I was hoping he was going to come out with someone. I didn't know if it was going to be like a JJ Watt. I was actually hoping it probably wasn't JJ Watt, just because he's a little bit of a nerd. But
true, that is a fact. He is a bit of a nerd.
He came out with Perk Favre, and that was my idol growing up, him, Aaron Rodgers. So when he showed up with him, and it was out of left field too, he was kind of walking through the back gates, and then all of a sudden there was Brett sitting there. And so, yeah, number 4, he's the gold standard here in Wisconsin. So the crowd erupted. It was unbelievable.
What do you do, boys, if you get the love tap from Morgan Wallen to come fucking walk out with him? Right? You just dropped everything and anything you're ever doing, right? Because that's just go time. Right? How fucking mangled would you be just when you got to get out there? You can't go out sober. You got to be just flying.
Shotgun a few beers to get her going.
Well, we went on stage. No, it wasn't Morgan Wallen, but we went to the Stadium Series, and who's that country singer? Fuck. Never going to remember the dude, but we had to go out and announce him, and we were fucking banged up. I had to write it down on my hand, his name, and I'm like, please welcome, whatever his name was. So if you're going out there with Morgan Wallen, you probably don't have to, Favre didn't say anything, though, did he? Especially just came out and kind of did the wave, right?
Yeah, a little bit of a wave, and then he kind of peeled off. I mean, the best walkout all time was last year in Knoxville when Peyton Manning walked out University of Tennessee with full gear on, and I had a football with him. He had the helmet on, and he was walking out, and he went on stage. That walkout is the best one I've seen from the Morgan Wallen entrances.
I wouldn't mind seeing him throw a few footballs to the crowd or something though.
Yeah, a couple snaps,
Go a
just
little bit.
snap a couple out around, hit some drunk guy right in the beak. Here you go, fella. You gotta get that fella.
You remember how hard Favre used to sling the ball, though? All the receivers said, mid your fingers, or it would split you open. He'd throw it like 60 to 70 miles an hour. It was a fucking bullet.
He was how was the hey Schmaltzy? How was the talent? Is that bringing out Madison's best, like Morgan Wallen? I mean, it's because you got to expect everyone comes home for that one.
Yeah, I mean, even just the state of Wisconsin, surrounding areas. Camp Randall hadn't had a concert at the football stadium in 28 years. So that was the first one back. So it was electric. He did a back-to-back, but you know how it is. It's girls with jean shorts, shit kickers, everyone just polluted. And obviously coming from areas like Milwaukee, even Chicago. It was good. The only thing, we were in a suite, not a big deal, but you don't really see the talent as much when it's on the ground.
Yeah, not as if you're down in the pin, eh? Jean shorts everywhere.
Yeah.
Oshkosh, Bagosh,
Sheep right on a swivel.
Germantown,
Appleton, Walk.
Hey, is Morgan Wallen single, Swishy, or does he got a girl? Is he single, just enjoying life, or do you know that?
I know we're recording on July 1, but as of now, I believe he's an unrestricted free agent at the stage.
As he should be. Could you imagine what's coming at him on his DMs? He's got more options than fucking Mitch Marner did throughout the fucking UFA. I mean, that Morgan Wallen's got to have some options.
I think he was touching up Jay Cutler's old wife, that Christian Caballari, just when he wanted to, but I think he's running around and doing whatever he wants.
Yeah.
kind of seems like a dick, boys. Though, no.
You think? I think he's.
I don't know if he.
I think he just likes getting banged up. He's throwing chairs off patios and shit. I think I like him.
But like, I don't know if
Little Texas, he fit right in, red
out there. Like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't think he's getting as much puss as some other guys out there. That's kind of what I'd say.
Well,
Yeah, I just think he's like, he doesn't have the game. I met him in Aspen. He's not like got the female like touch. I mean, he's gonna get kills because he's Morgan Wallen, but he doesn't have like the, the swag of just like gentleman, rock star, the whole thing. He's just kind of like Morgan Wallen. I don't know. Maybe it works, Schmaltzy.
Let me tell you this though, fellas. When I went to Nashville before the season started, I went to his house for a party, and it was pretty stacked with women out there.
Oh, I guess it was.
I'll tell you that. There was no shortage of women there.
No.
And he wanted everyone to turn the phone. He had a security guy at the door, and you're supposed to turn your phone. And I had slipped mine in kind of my pants, so he didn't take it. But
Veteran.
no phones, which is a great play, obviously. And it was, these girls were young, like 20, 21, 22.
So
There was
They were lining up.
Up, dog. When you say, does that just because he wasn't like getting all over girls and like being aggressive and like trying to get laid in front of everyone? Because he's probably got to pick his spots a little bit of like, even in Aspen, I'm sure he can't just, go full up dog in the fucking Little Bell. But why don't you think he's got swag?
I guess I'm just trying to size him up as like some of the world's best. Like, is Chris Martin and him in a room, like who's getting more puss?
Who's Chris Martin? Coldplay?
Yeah, like, a guy that has like a little bit of an accent, a history of like, being a ladies' man. Morgan Wallen he came on the scene, 5 years ago, and he's kind of like a little hick from a small hick town. Like his bangers are bangers, and no kidding, he's a rock star. But is he getting as much puss as like some of the best guys out there? It was kind of my opinion. I don't know.
You're saying up he can't. You don't see him like really snapping it around. Has the charisma, the kind of the swag.
Yeah, well, like he's sitting in a corner working like 4 or 5 girls, like holding court. Like a true Brad Pitt in the corner would be just sitting there, and they'd all be coming over, and he'd be smiling, talking to him. Like, I don't know if Morgan Wallen's like holding court like that, or if he's just like getting banged up and just expecting one to fall in his lap.
Up dog. Yeah, I'm gonna say I think they let their music do the talking, fella. Like going off by that Zach Bryan's concert at Stagecoach.
Yeah,
he's not a great looking guy, right? A little kind of shorter guy, but like his music was doing the talk. Like I'm sure when Morgan Wallen closes his bedroom door and just hits like one of his tunes, I don't think he has to talk, right? It's like Leo back in the day, just showing up to One Oak. You don't have to talk. Just put your hat up a bit, Leo, and you're gonna get any broad you want. Yeah. I think that's how it works. I'm assuming.
We could talk about Leo later at this wedding because come on, man.
You teed me right up, boys. Right into a guy who does have some swag. Tom Brady. There's been some rumors. First of all, Bezos, $46 million. I guess the people of Italy are choked. They're like rioting. They want him to pay more tax. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. Tom Brady and Sidney Sweeney been hitting it off. Only a couple single people over there from what I've gathered on social media. Brady and Orlando Bloom, who He's a little long in the tooth. How old is Orlando Bloom nowadays? But
He's probably our age.
He's only 45, probably.
okay, so he's still in his prime. But you got to think Tom Brady in fucking Lake Como with Sidney Sweeney. You got to think he got this done. Do you not, boys? You got to think he got this done. I'm saying 100%. Tom Brady has taken down Sidney Sweeney. Swishy, what do you think? We'll start with you. You're young single. I'm saying Tom Brady, the GOAT, got her done.
I mean, it's Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? He doesn't, another guy that doesn't have to say anything either if you wanted to go home with her. All right. So you don't even have to wheel at that point. Yeah. I mean, they were seen dancing together at that wedding. I'd like to.
Did a little chicken dance at the wedding there.
Yeah. I like to hope he did, but
Yeah.
who knows? I don't know.
No, he did. Weddings, fuck, he did. Celebrities everywhere, good-looking people everywhere. Tom slides in, 8 Super Bowl rings or whatever. It's game, set, match, in my opinion.
I'd be going for more than just one if I was Tom there. He's got how many?
Never said he settled for
7, 8.
Never said he settled for just one.
Yeah,
I said he got one done.
Yeah, for sure. So she's obviously, she's the world's little bachelorette right now. Just the girl next door. Tom is the GOAT. There's a lot of eyes on that. A lot of eyes on that wedding.
A lot of eyes, but not at the reception and stuff, right? Now, you think got to be some NDAs being signed, but when everyone's famous, people don't take pictures of other famous people, right? They're all famous.
So can we talk about Leo? Back to Leo for a second, who's obviously like, the biggest wheel of the last 25 years. This guy could get anybody and has. He's wearing, he's getting on that little boat in Venice and he's wearing his hat, like the Yankees hat. Like, well, you're going to a wedding, dude, like Kardashians and Brady. Like, it doesn't matter who you are. Like,
That's his trademark.
It's his style, man.
Yeah,
dude, let's get over that. Or can we not? Or
we were at Coachella years ago, me and Mikael, at the One Oak after party, which Leo basically knew every single person in there. Like, he was Mr. One Oak in LA and in New York, and he still had his hat down and his hood up. And me and Mikael are like, you think he'd take the hat off for this party? Like, there's no civilian, like, it's just One Oak's aftershaker. And like you said, Rich, that's his
trademark.
It's his trademark.
Yeah.
That and banging young broads. Is it true his chick's 19? Is that true?
That can't be right. You can't even take her out for a glass of wine.
He's 49, eh? He's
Yeah.
I don't know.
Got to take her up to British Columbia to have fun.
Yeah. Jump on the bird.
it all works.
We're going to Vancouver.
We're going to Van again.
Jump on. We're going to get you pinned.
Hey, does he have security like around him at all times?
No.
No, like that One Oak party, no.
No.
I've actually, I haven't seen him a whole bunch, but when I have seen him out, I've never really seen security with him. But I've only seen him at that Malibu Shaker, Rich, that we went to back in the day, and then at like Coachella or One Oak, where he's that was his home turf.
Yeah. Well, he always stays at Nicky's.
Yeah.
For, Coachella. So we'd always go over there for like a pool party or something. He'd always be banging around over there, but
Yeah.
so I don't know.
We actually lost the volleyball game on mushrooms. Me, Milan Lucic, Lupul, who was terrible, and somebody else. We lost to Leo, Cons, Gerard Butler, and Jamie Foxx. It's a tough loss, Swish.
Yeah, it is a tough loss.
In front of everyone. I'm like, Loops, everyone's watching here, bud. You want to step in here? He's like, fucking, just in one.
Oh, I psychedelics. Psychedelics and beach volleyball they do not go hand in hand.
No, we were on mush. We were just like, wee. But he was trying to do like the whole bump, hit, spike, 3, like, and I'm like, fuck it, just get it over. We like dump it out. Like, we don't need to lose these boys, and they peppered us pretty good. So, boys, I'm gonna say, Tom, congratulations. Sydney, good for you. Way to take down the GOAT. Swishy, up dog. I was thinking about you, Rich. I know you like tennis as well, but Wimbledon's back. It's my favorite tournament. However, I didn't like what they did to the American lad there. 10:15 at night, center court. They pulled the old curfew on him and say, you got to get off the court. Came back this morning and won. Taylor Fritz is his name. Is that correct, boys?
Yeah.
Good win for him. That French guy could send it. His serves were like 155 miles an hour. But I love Wimbledon. They're talking about the surface is a new grass, a little bit harder, a little bit cleaner, they said. And up dog, I'll start with you. I love the home whites. I love how everyone's got to wear white. It's classy. Then you see in the box, all the Brits got the ties on. It's a proper tournament, in my opinion. My favorite.
It's the best tournament, man. Played on grass. You look at all the greats that have played. I just think of Federer wearing the whites and just being silky smooth out there. I'm sure you do too, Schmaltzy. Just to touch on the Taylor Fritz, they implemented this rule. Who was it? Isner, like not too long ago, it was maybe 5 years ago, Schmaltzy. Isner had like a match that went to like 3, 4 in the morning. And I know that's kind of common over here for the US Open, but they had to win by 2. Right. And it just kept going and going and going. So I think at some point in these early rounds, they said like, hey, we're going to just cap this and set the curfew. But that Taylor Fritz was lucky, man. In down 2-1 in a tie break, he was down like 5-1, and he came back and battled back in an epic fashion. So he was lucky to get that through till curfew and then battle it out in the morning. But Medvedev out first round. You said Coco Gauff Schmaltzy just lost this morning. Djokovic is in a match. So, I mean, it's the best tournament to watch, boys. It's such a good time of year.
Yeah, Rublev also lost, but yeah, the one thing though, don't you think that's the coolest thing about the U.S. Open is the night fight? Like, let them play all night. If it's going to go to extras like that, just send it. People get drunker, time gets better, you get rowdier, especially over there where it's so proper. Obviously, over at the All English Club there. So I don't know. I like them playing all night.
So, Schmaltz, you ever played on grass?
I've never played on grass, dude. I want to so bad.
Yeah, so I just played, sorry, Richie, but I played on clay the other day, and to see the difference in the way the ball bounces from hard court to clay and then to grass, and you see how these guys slide. I mean, the best of the best right now are sliding on grass and on hard courts. It's like insane how crazy these athletes are.
So, Uppy, I got a question on that. I was just going to ask you about that. Wait, is it faster or is it slower, or what is it? Like with the ball speed?
A little slower, right? A little slower on the grass.
It's slower on grass. It's slower on grass.
Gives you time to get around her. Gives her time to get around her, Rich. Get right around.
Maybe?
Get around her.
Get up on us. Yeah. You can get your hips right in place.
Shakira.
No, and clay bounces really high, but you got to be quick on clay because, and that's why the Spaniards are the best, Schmaltzy, on clay, is because with the way the ball bounces and the height, you got to be running and getting to it.
Yeah. I mean, clay. That's why Nadal was so good too, because he just wear you down on clay. Like I was watching old school when they suspended that last night. Obi, I was watching old school Feds versus Nadal highlights. Me and my brother, and just the Spaniard would grind so hard. Like, he doesn't hit a ton of winners, if any, but you just forget how good of this conditioned he was.
Good swag. You talk about swag. Uppy's talking about no swag from Morgan Wallen. Nadal and Federer had swag. They were just like out there. It looked so good.
Have you guys ever been to Wimbledon? Like, that's such a bucket list for me.
No, I've been over that. I've been near that area of London when I went there last year, but it was obviously not tournament time. I was there just after it. But yeah, I would love to go over there and hit some pubs and hit Wimbledon. It'd be fun.
Fella tour.
Schmaltzy, our boy Andy McLaughlin, Mikael, as our listeners are always, the Phantom Mikael. His buddy, or his cousin, is Coco Gauff's coach. So it's a heartbreaker today. But he said, like, now that he's like, should we go? Was our conversation the other night at dinner. And I'm like, if you could that's one thing I'd sneak away for 3 or 4 days. Yeah. Fly into London, do a night out, just go out, stay there, go daytime, nighttime. It's a once in a lifetime.
How much shit would you lose in London? Fuck. You'd be tracking cabs. London's big too. You'd be like, fuck, my phone's in East London, boys. I gotta go.
Would not come off, there.
Boys, my phone's in a cab in East London. I'm out of here.
That fucking laddie's got my fucking phone, Obs.
London's the best. Have you ever been over there? I mean, I know you have, Ops, but have any boys been over there? It's the best. The pubs are unbelievable, Swishy.
No, I haven't done. I need to. I haven't done London. I've done Paris. I've done tons of surrounding areas, but I've never done London.
Yeah, and I think we might be heading over there pretty soon. Obs, right at the end of July.
Nice.
So
the beer's so good over. The beer is so good over there.
What's the go-to beer?
Just anything. There's like just a lager, but they're all unbelievable. Yeah. And like, you don't feel like fat and bloated, and you don't have to piss all the time. And you just sit there and drink them. You can drink them on the street. Like, they're not like, hey, get in the bar. Like, yeah, you can drink them anywhere. It's awesome.
And that's all like draft beers you're talking about?
Yeah, just a nice draft beer. It's a lager.
All the pubs too, right, Obs? You walk down like Soho and these old school streets, and everyone, like, the patio is like, an edge or a third of the sidewalk, but everyone's out there just crushing beers. You're kind of walking by, you're peeking your head. You have one here, you go one there. It's awesome.
You know what else they're crushing, boys? Darts. They're just hacking darts over there. They don't care. No vapes. They're just old school darts. You got to respect it.
Nothing better than a dart.
Before we move on here, Uppy, I guess Pat Verbeek must be typed into your microphone because Granlund, Anaheim, 3 years, 7 bananas a year.
Yeah.
So he must have heard you chirping him.
I brought this up, boys, and we should talk about it just a little bit. But I think, like, come free agency day, some teams struggle to attract a free agent that's, a well sought after guy. I was hoping Greener in Ottawa got this guy. Had a little conversation about him. I like Granlund. I think in the playoffs he did what he had to do. He's a great pickup. So what is it? 3 years, $7 million a year.
7 bananas a year.
Yeah, he's Richie. You know him. He's a good two-way guy. But anyway, teams like Anaheim, like there should be a guy out there like Obes or maybe it's me. We live there. These guys need to know how well Newport Beach living is, and you can compare that to other places. Like New York never has trouble signing guys. Chicago Blackhawks never really trouble signing guys. You got Tampa and Florida; those are easy to. But like Anaheim struggled here in the last little bit, Obes, to get free agents.
Yeah, the real question is, does Granlund need a realtor? Because if he does, Mac Miller Enterprise. Hey, does anyone know? Oh, fuck, we could use a sale over here at the Bay Club.
I'll fire a text for you.
Hey, Rich, fire him a text. We could use a commission, fella.
Yeah. No, let me just say this. Some of these young teams. This is my experience from Calgary. Going for a younger team, these guys are worried if they sign too many veterans that they're going to block the young guys from trying to make the team or their playing time or whatever. Because the coach is going to play the older guys. They want to win. So if the GM signs all these these older guys, and the coach has to play, they just don't get their reps. So
don't get their touch.
I think if you don't want to sign too many guys, because Anaheim's going to be young for the next couple of years.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I see it.
Well, and how about this, Richie? So the Toronto Maple Leafs, for example, when Loops was there, if you were a free agent or you got traded there and you got in, you were given this this super sick book, right? And the book's signed with a couple notes from maybe some ex-players, but in that book has where the nannies are, where the schools are, where, if you need house help, if you need, real estate agents, you need Mac Miller to help you out. Here's where the local gyms are. Here's, a guy to call for concerts. And that sort of thing is huge across the league, but you just don't see many people, or teams taking pride in that and making these free agents feel like right off the hop, they're like part of the family. Like Philadelphia was great at it, but I know teams, for example, that just weren't great. Mm-hmm. And I think that can help in the long run come July 1st. Like teams like Vegas, it's our jury's out. Las Vegas, amazing place. They treat everyone great. Yeah, your family, your mom and dad when they come to town. It's a lively place to play, but I feel like teams should try to play that catch-up game and compete for that.
Yeah. Well, I was just telling you, Nashville does a great job of that. At least when I went there, they had everything set up. The same thing, a big book, all the restaurants, all the, anything you needed was actually really impressive. And that's the first team I ever saw them do that. But I loved it.
I used to like to get out in the city and figure it out on my own, eh? Hey, I'll find spots. Just let me know where point me in the direction. What way is downtown? It's that way, Obes. Thanks, boys. I'll see you tomorrow. Hey, I'll tell you.
You got any numbers?
Yeah. I would do that too. Guys that played there, fella, you got any numbers?
Got a guy?
I'll tell you what, old Verbeek here's got a little something cooking here down the middle now. He's got Carlson, Granlund, McTavish, Strome. That's pretty good four centers there.
Well thought out there. Q likes the centerman.
Yeah. Patty Verbeek was voted the worst GM in the NHL by I don't know who, but did you guys see that? Oh. Yeah, he was. But
worse looking or worse?
No, worse. But I think he's doing a decent.
It was a little blow up.
Yeah. Hey, boys, before we move on here, just finishing up on Wimbledon. Any bets out of you and Swishy? DraftKings, baby? Did you bet anybody in Wimbledon or no?
I haven't touched anything yet.
No,
I'll touch the later rounds and just the sets or the game overs, just depending on, you got to feel it out. I think a little bit. It's early in the tournament here, first round.
I'm in Aspen, so I got the DraftKings app flying, boys, and the Joker and Sinner are in the same part of the breakdown here, Schmaltzy. So I'm going to throw a little tickler on Djokovic to get through to the final, to make the final. So runner up on Djokovic, but I'm hoping an Alcaraz. As everybody, Alcaraz, Djokovic final would be epic.
Any good Brits got a chance? I want to know. I've seen a Brit get in there. I remember Andy Murray I think he got to a final of Wimbledon, but never got it done. Any good Brits, Swish?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
This Jack Draper, he's okay. He's a 4 seed. He's a kid that won at the Indian Wells. He actually upset, I believe it was Sinner. He beat at the Indian Wells in Palm Springs earlier in the year, but I would say probably that's your guy, Obi. The only thing is he's a southpaw, and I don't love seeing it from the left side.
Yeah. Even that Blake Shelton, though, he's a lefty, the USA guy. He sends missiles.
Yeah, I don't love his game either. I'm not really high on any of the Americans.
Yeah.
Who's the who is the best lefty? Like John McEnroe, was he the best lefty of all time, or who?
No, Rafa.
Rafa, for sure. I forgot about that spin.
Hey, speaking of best of all time, did you see your girl Sablenka hitting the balls with Sinner and Alcaraz?
Yeah, she was bullying. Oh, just like she would in the bedroom to Sinner. She'd bully him. That's what she was doing to him.
Well, her ball speed on returns is higher than all the men's. It's because she's getting a lot of lobs from the women, but I mean, her power it's insane.
Yeah. Sexy is what it is. Hey, I like Wimbledon too because you wake up, out here on the West Coast, and it's on. It's on in the morning. I like that. It's just on. So, boys, enjoy that. Before we go to our first break, let's not forget this show is presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Missin Curfew, fellas. We have a new CBA. It's funny how it works. I guess the league is doing well. Hey, Updog and Richie, you're in there tight with Bettman. This CBA was done before the old CBA was even up. Didn't work like that when we were in the league. There was lockout city every other year. It felt like, right? You're going to lock you out again. But I do like the 4 preseason games, 84 regular season games. I don't know if they need to do that, but it is what it is. More revenue for the boys. What do you guys think about now? If you do go UFA, it goes from 7 to 6. You think that is in favor of the players, or does that help the owners? I wasn't sure on that one, so I wanted your opinion on that.
I don't know. There's not a lot of guys getting 7-year deals right now, is there, when they sign?
Not really, no.
So it's maybe affecting 1 or 2 guys, 3 guys a year, maybe.
Yeah, just the big dogs, right? So they're going to get theirs either way.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah. And Obes, to your point, like a guy like Marner with the sign and trade that he just did, like guys want that extra year, especially into their late 20s or 30s. Like who knows how their body gets up. So I think it benefits the teams, to be honest. I think this is probably one thing the players gave up to get, no fucking dress code. But yeah, this is one thing that favors the owners more than the players, because the players want that extra year, because most guys into this free, into their 1 or 2nd time into a free agency, they want that extra year.
Swish, what are your thoughts on that, fella?
I think it's case by case, right? I think it's some teams, you look at some of those deals that a lot of guys sign out of their entry level contracts where teams are able to get guys to sign maybe at a lower AAV than they'd have to pay them further down the road, where you could sign a guy for an 8-year deal and get them locked in for an extra year. So I think it could benefit teams that way. But also what Uppy's saying, I think for the players, I think you always want the option for the most amount of years possible, would be my thinking, just in case you want to take that 8-year deal. Now that's not even on the table. And especially if you hit the UFA market, the 7-year option's not there even. So I think I agree with Uppy there. I think you'd always want the option as a player to take it the distance and get an 8-year deal versus 6 or 7.
Yeah, Shimosi, and just to add
or
on,
what,
like,
1-year deal.
Obi, listen, what we just saw Marner do, like, a lot of talk earlier was Marner might take 3 or 4 years and then hit the market when the market's 115, 120 cap, and prove himself. And it's what Matthews has done. It's what I hope McDavid does. If he does stay in Edmonton, I hope it's like a 2-year deal, just, and time will tell with that. But I was hoping that that kind of someone would change the course of just signing these 8-year deals on teams and playing it all out with them and really just go like, all right, like I haven't won yet. Who's going to be the team? I'm going to play here 2 years. And then if it doesn't work, I'm going to sign another 2 years somewhere else. I don't know. I was kind of hoping someone would switch it up the way Matthews has the last couple of years.
Yeah, I think new NHL too. Like you don't have to worry about, like, there's always risk to get hurt, right? It's still a physical sport. Don't get me wrong. I get it. Fucking shit can happen out there, but it's not as physical as it once was. So I think taking less term isn't as big of a risk anymore. So that might play into the boys' hands. But I'm with Swishy as an ex-player. I want as much term as I can get. For them to lose that year, the more I think about it, I think that favors the league. Boys, all the bitching and complaining about stacking the playoff lineups, you can no longer put guys on long-term IR, which I think is perfect timing because now the cap's going up, right? In 3 years, it's going to be $113 million. So these teams that were right up against it, like Tampa and Florida and Vegas and all these teams, they're going to get some breathing room. But Rich, we'll start with you. You've been in the war room with the Flames. How do you think this is going to play out for the, I guess, the parity of the league? Like you can no longer have, $20 million sitting on the sideline.
Well, I think that's probably the right thing to do, right?
Yeah.
It was kind of a loophole in the rules and it needed to be closed because some of these teams are doing it every year. So it needs to, obviously it was in the rules. You're allowed to do it. Now it's not. I think it's the right move.
Yeah. Couple more that jump out to me, boys, here before we move on. Full-time E-Bug. That's a good job. What do you think an E-Bug makes in the NHL to fly around the bird with the boys and play rebound, right? You got to think if you're a goalie in the jungle right now, you're like, I'll take fucking, what is
100.
it? 250 or what do they get?
Hey, it's 100.
100?
Yeah. 100 seems fair.
It's tough. I don't know, boys. It's got to be more than 100 because you're giving up you're fucking going on the road a lot. Like you're kind of, I guess, like is $100,000 good to just tell a guy he's no longer, got a 9-to-5 job? He's just going to be a beauty. I don't know.
So is your
I hope it's more than that.
Is your E-Bug a qualified goaltender, or is it just a Zamboni driver like David Ayers?
Just the Zamboni.
I don't know. I don't have the ins and outs of. I don't got the whole CBA right here, but that's a good question.
If he was a real goalie, like he should want to play. So he's not. So
we're not talking. Yeah, but we're not talking like we're talking like a college kid who can't make.
We're talking like a
coast.
Yeah, Rich. We're talking a fucking East Coast League tendy. That's fucking back up in the coast. You're like, hey,
exactly.
You want to go play in fucking Alaska, or do you want to be the E-Bug? But $100,000, you can't enjoy the finer things in the NHL in $100,000. You're going to make it till about Thanksgiving. You're going to be fucking out of money.
Yeah, the nice thing though, if you're making 100, is you're probably not even involved with those credit card games. They're just like, all right, you sit this one out.
That's true. The E-Bug doesn't
get to go to dinner.
Right. Leave your card.
I don't even think they're inviting him to dinner, are they? I don't.
I'd be best buddies with the E-Bug. He's always. The E-Bug's always ready to go. Hey, fella, let's go. We're going tonight. You ready? Get in the fucking car. He's ready.
What if the E-Bug's like pulling everybody out, just staying up late, getting them pinned?
Yeah, cancer E-Bug. Hey, you can't bring this E-Bug. He's a cancer. He had the whole team out all year.
The E-Bug's walking on eggshells, boys. He could get gas any day. Like, what's in his contract? There's no secured deal there. If he fucks up, he misses the bus one time, he's done. Yeah.
Imagine being the E-Bug, Rich, and missing the bus. Sorry, boys. Sorry, boys. Fuck alarm clock didn't go off, eh? Sorry, boys.
Hey, in all seriousness, he's got to be the best guy. So, he might be a firefighter dude's just a beauty. He could be like a card player, like just a poker guy.
I think you bring in old, like, bullpen catchers. You bring in Roberto, well, Luongo's got a good job, but
Borders.
Andrew Raycroft is your E-Bug goalie, or like, I'm trying to think of other good backups. Yeah. A lot of net on Panger, but maybe you bring back the veteran guys that don't have jobs and like, here, you're our E-Bug. Get in there.
I'll fucking kick. I can fucking kick.
I'll tell you what, I talked to someone who works for a team, and they said for their E-Bug, they might have them doing some like light work, like a little bit of scouting, taking notes for games.
There you go, Rich.
Take it where the shots are coming from for the goalies. Little things like that. They're gonna maybe doing face-off stats or something. They're gonna have to do something, not just fucking drink all day.
The coaches, they got to ruin everything. Hey, coaches got to ruin everything. You can't just let the guy play rebound and go get pinned. He's got to track shots and face offs.
But that might be fun for him too. Some of these guys. I don't know.
Yeah, call for reservations. Fucking make sure the Uber's showing up on time. Just
shoes are shined. Yeah.
I think Mike Smith would be a good E-Bug. I don't know what Smitty's doing out there. He's got 1 million kids. I think Mike Smith would be a good E-Bug.
You know what else would be good is going and getting like girls' numbers in the crowd, like during the game. Rolling warm up. Hey, you come off after warm ups. You're like, hey, row 3 there.
So then you're looking for a young single E-Bug. Your E-Bug's coming from the coast. Then you want to call someone up from the coast, a young horny E-Bug. I get it.
Kevin O'Malley. Get Kevin O'Malley in there.
Kevin O'Malley. Yeah, but you don't want him getting pinned. You got to keep mouths off the sauce. Then
just smile and have the hair slicked back and use Hank's pads, and you just be beauty. Yeah.
Hank's jock. He'd use Hank's jock too if he could. Last but not least, to wrap up the new CBA, fucking Batman. This guy gets everything done. No more dress codes for the players. Listen, nobody hated wearing a suit on off days more than me, but I loved wearing a suit into a fucking NHL barn, especially in Canada with the Hockey Night Canada cameras on you. I'm all for people not maybe having to wear a suit, but like, let's be careful here, because I play with a lot of guys, and I'm sure style's better now with Instagram and TikTok, and some of these young studs got swag, but I play with a lot of guys that were bad dressers. Like, where they wore stuff to the rink, you're like, fella, that's awful. So how do you guys feel on this? Do you think it's free range, or what do you think, Rich? Let's start with you and we'll go around the horn.
I would think, are you talking about the Russians who wear all that?
I'm talking about a couple guys from Ontario or Western Canada, Saskatchewan boys that brought out the fucking jeans with, I'm like, fella, what is that, the True Religion jeans back in the day, or the fucking...
Yeah, I don't know. I just would say keep it classy, look good. That's all it is. Don't wear ripped jeans. Just look good. It's not that hard.
It's opening a door. It's opening a door, though, correct? To like, there's still going to be team dress codes, I would say.
Well, there's going to be problems with the coach team. Like, you can't fucking wear that. What are you doing?
Yeah.
But,
like, what's Patrick Laine going to wear opening night?
Oh God.
I'm interested to hear Schmaltz's take on this, boys.
Yeah.
I think it's on the team. It's on the managers, the coaches, and then ultimately the veterans to establish a team policy or a team rule where you can still look good. You can go with the cowboy black tie, which is you show up looking like you're ready to party, but you do it respectfully. You don't drag it out and wear ripped jeans or just some of those shoes with like the Louboutins with spikes on them, or just like, you don't want to go full NBA because hockey at the end of the day is a classy game. But I think there's a way to do it where you still look good, where you could throw on a leather jacket, Obi, little Johnny V fella, and still look mint walking in like a rock star. That I think is acceptable. I think you should be able to express yourself in a way that you still look good, but you're showing up to the barn ready to rock. That would be my only thing.
Yeah, so I think there's kind of two parts I think about here. Is you're going to tell a lot about a team and their leaders and how guys operate by how their younger guys dress, how their older guys come in and dress. Do they look professional? Do they play good? And these are teams like, the Pittsburgh Penguins, for example, with Crosby. Like, you're not going to be a guy coming in wearing a sweatsuit, and fucking Louboutins into the Pittsburgh Penguins game 1 barn. There's no chance. But what I do think the NHL is trying to compete with is showing personality and showing a brand, and that they lack that. And I say they lack that because you see like, Mahomes and Travis Kelce show up to these games on Sunday morning and they wear something that's in their own interest. It might not be something we'd wear or a hockey player would wear, but they've created their own brand and they're social hits. So the NHL wants social hits and they lack it. And hopefully some of these younger guys can kind of figure that out. And, you're not going to do it with Connor McDavid. You're not going to have Connor McDavid wearing fucking Gucci pants and fucking, a bright pink Gucci jacket. But if someone can pull off like these looks that gets traction online, that's what the NHL is hoping that maybe this happens. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, can I ask you this though? Do you guys think people still wear suits?
Yeah, fuck yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
I think so. I like wearing a suit.
I would have went, like, especially you called me out, I would have went fucking black Johnny V jacket, black jeans, and a t-shirt. I'll tell you what it does do. It saves you from having to go back to the hotel after the game. You can go right fucking out after. You could be like, boys, good game, see you tomorrow. You don't have to go change. That's nice. That is nice.
Columbus, you just wear your fucking tracksuit jacket.
Yeah.
You just wear your tracksuit.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to say. But what about, like,
right back on the bus.
What about a Tuesday night in fucking Columbus or Carolina? You're like, what are you going to wear to the game? You're going to just like throw on a pair of tracksuit, I guess, team tracksuit, or?
Yeah, you can't be going full AHL style in a game in Milwaukee on the road, like where you're just wearing team issued gear. Like, you gotta look good still. Come on.
Right? Still the NHL.
It's still the National League, boys. It's still the National League. I would love to see Jack Hughes walk in with some Gucci jumpsuit or something. That would be hilarious. I would love that. As a younger guy, like there's ways to look good where, you can do it different ways. As long as you look good, Obi, and you're wearing something expensive.
Yeah. I think Richie's right, though. I think a lot of guys are still, now that I think about it, a lot of guys are still going to wear suits. They're going to go, all right, boys, no ties. Or you got to wear a collared shirt and jeans, but that's the leadership group's going to mentor, and these guys are still going to probably look business casual.
But sometimes that's just easy too. Like wearing a suit, sometimes you go on a long road trip, it's just easy to put a black suit on and go to the game.
Yeah. Until the end of that road,
pick your outfits for 6 different games.
Until the end of that road trip when your suit's fucking mangled. You're like, God, that one's
you
done.
Come on your pants.
That suit's, there ain't a dry cleaner, there ain't enough starch in the world to get that one. We'll just leave that one here.
Hey, it's like when they legalized weed. Like when they legalized weed, it didn't make more potheads. It's not like guys who always wear a suit is gonna always wear a suit to a game. It's just giving you like the option to not get slurped. Yeah, just to like it's almost it's more of just a respect factor. Like you're in the NHL, we're gonna treat you like an adult here. We're not gonna make you be a military, wear a black suit and shave your face. Like, hey, by the way, is that a new rule? Like
the Islanders.
Yeah, you're allowed to fucking grow some facial beard. Is Lou Lamoriello still working in the league?
No,
ran up.
No, I think he's lost in the Buffalo airport somewhere or something, roaming around there. No, he's not working up. Not that I know of, anyways. But it'll be interesting. I do think it's going to be good content for us boys because I do think some guys are going to walk in and not look in National League, and we're going to be able to rip them. So that's
That's something to talk about.
That's going to be enjoyable. So congrats to the boys. New CBA. Nobody wants lockouts or strikes. Keep it going, boys. DraftKings bets, baby. Presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours. Boys, I was sitting by the pool yesterday maintaining, right? I got the first layer base going in the desert. I'm trying to maintain the tan. I see Brad Marchand, 6 years, $32 million. And instantly I go to DraftKings Sportsbook and slam the Florida Panthers for a three-peat. I got them at plus 600. Listen, I just can't believe they all took haircuts. We all know that. They got their whole fourth line back. They picked up Jeff Petrie on a 1 year, $775. It's almost impossible to three-peat, but I just couldn't resist, boys. So I have my first future of the year, the Cats, to three-peat.
And how good is Billy Zito? I mean, obviously the obvious three to stay there, but how good is he just finding that defenseman that's very experienced on that right side? It's been two lefties in the last few years to play with Kulikov. I mean, you had Nate Schmidt, you had OEL, and he gets these guys around league minimum. You bring in Jeff Petrie. He's so good at just solidifying that top six with a veteran back there to be reliable. And that's exactly what they're going to try again this year with Jeff Petrie. It's like he's so good, Billy Zito, just find those little pieces he needs to add to his lineup and then just keep the core obviously intact.
Yeah. Think about Nate Schmidt. What did he just sign for?
3.5. 3 for 3.5 in Utah.
He went from what, $750 to signing another
$850. And you know what, Richie? I didn't know this. He was still getting paid by Winnipeg. So that was another reason why he went to Florida. He was still getting double dip from the Jets.
But that's what happens when you go to a good team. You can revive your career, and I'm happy for the guy, man. Like, let's go from $850 to 3.5 for 3 years. That's pretty nice.
OEL did the same thing the year prior.
Exactly.
Still getting paid from Vancouver. Yeah, obviously re-upped with Toronto in the same thing.
It's great.
Says a lot about the Florida Panthers, boys.
Doesn't it?
I mean, listen to the right. It says, oh, sorry, Obi, but it says a lot about the team. It says a lot about how much they fucking love each other. They probably sat around just pinned and said, "You fucking guys aren't going anywhere. We're making it work." And then they call Bill. They zoom in Bill from the pool and they go, "Zito, we're making this all work, you motherfucker."
You got a pen, Bill? The boys are ready to sign. Come over here. We're at 11, Bill. Bring the contract.
Like, right? So, and that's the type of group they got. And wow. And to be 6-1, those are some fucking crazy, that's high and not high odds. It proves that their team is going to be the team to beat forever. And to have they got 7 guys, boys, to 2030 signed. It's nuts.
Yeah.
That's a core group of guys signed for the long haul, and they're pricks. They're going to be pricks to beat.
Oh,
yeah.
Swishy, we talk about the right side of blue lines a lot, right? Over the year, we talked about, there's a lot of weak right sides. Like, their right side is Ekblad, Jones, and Petrie. Like, say what you want about Jeff Petrie. Serviceable is a good word. But as your sixth defenseman playing the right side, he's big, he's long, he's a veteran. He's good come playoff time. He's been to a Stanley Cup final with Montreal. It's like, that checks the box, right, Swish?
Well, I mean, that's exactly what I was just alluding to before, Obes. But you bring in these guys that have played 600, 700, 800, 900 games. That's so big, especially, at playoff time to go in there and just quiet things down. Like, if you have a young kid in there, you don't really know how they're going to react. Especially the further they play, the more minutes they have to play if someone goes down in the playoffs. But those are guys you just bring in. You don't have to worry about them, right? Like, Jeff Petrie is probably not as fast as he once was or moves as well, but his brain, the way he can think the game and just keep it between himself, that's so vital to a cup team like that.
Yeah, and Kulikov's a perfect defense partner for him, right? We'll use him. We'll go D-to-D. We'll keep it simple, strong. Like, that's going to be a nice 5-6. I mean, should we book our rooms at the Ritz, Fort Lauderdale right now, see if we get a grade or what? What's the cancellation policy on that, boys? But DraftKings bets, get some skin in the game, but always bet responsibly. Jay Swish, it's Canada Day. Get that guy a Labatt Blue, fella.
Brought to you by Labatt, fella. With Labatt, you can buy beer and get gear. Go to their website, snap a photo of your receipt, and upload it to gain points towards exclusive merch. Fellas, that's any size, any product, anywhere you're buying Labatt. Folks, sign up at rewards.labattusa.com. As always, right in the guts of Chippewa Street, Buffalo, New York.
I cannot wait. Start August. I'm going to be on the lake. I got the speedboat. I didn't go pontoon boat Weegsy style, so I got to be careful. But the blue lights, just going to have them on ice. I cannot wait to get up on the lake. And just, Swishy, you've been loving the Tragically Hip lately, huh, fella? You've been just pump it today and on the lake there. Pump the hip.
Yeah, I'm in my Tragically Hip era phase, whatever you want to call it, since Edmonton. I just forgot how good they were. I mean, I was obviously always a fan, and the Canadian lads would play in the locker room, but right now, I'm hooked, dude. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I love it. It's unbelievable. I can't wait to be just pounding on the lake. I'm going to start off. Get this guy Labatt Blue. Shout out to our boy Kevin Connolly and Happy Gilmore, Adam Sandler. They did the first picks for the Boston Bruins and New York Islanders. Cons did the second first-round pick. But it's good to see Cons up there. You're talking about a suit. He had a suit on. He looked great. I thought Adam Sandler coming in as Happy Gilmore was unbelievable. So to those two celebs, get yourself a Labatt Blue. And my second one, we just touched on it. Not just Bill Zito. Vinny Viola, Paul Maurice, the whole coaching staff. They've built a culture there. guys wanted to say, guys took less. It starts from the top and works its way down. So to Vinny Viola, Bill Zito, Paul Maurice, the whole management, 40, Lou, all you boys, grab yourself a Labatt Blue. You've built something there that is really hard to do, and you're going to keep it going. So get yourself a Labatt Blue, boys, and enjoy your Stanley Cup party. Richie, what do you got?
I'm going to slide it over to the Columbus Blue Jackets. Bringing Meredith Goudreau up there to announce their picks. Just they've handled this. It's been obviously a tough situation, but they've handled this really, really well all year. To have her up there, I got a little emotional watching her. You just playing it, knowing her on a personal level, and just as close with her. So I just thought they did a great job. It was amazing. For that, they deserve a beer, a nice ice cold Labatt Blue.
Yeah, it's well said. I thought she, obviously she's handled herself tremendously through this whole tragedy, but once again, she looked beautiful. It couldn't have been easy for her to do. The fans were great. She was great. So good on him. Well said by you, Rich. Up dog. Who you dishing one to?
Fellas, I got two actually.
Attaboy.
The Anaheim Ducks. Get yourself a Labatt Blue Light. They drafted a boy, Roger McQueen, the 10th overall pick. I actually played with this old man, Scott McQueen, in Fort Mac. Guy was an absolute beauty. He had an interview on ESPN. But the Ducks flew this kid, boys, helicopter style, right to Disneyland after the draft. So that was pretty epic. It was nice to see this kid, 6'5". He's going to be a beast. So actually, he can have a Labatt Blue too. But I just thought it was a class act by the Ducks to do that. Something that is catchy. We're going to Disneyland, so get yourself a Labatt Blue Light there. And then, boys, Scott Oak, appointed by Canada today. This guy's an absolute legend. Born in Sydney, Nova Scotia. I always thought he was a Newfoundlander like myself. But he's been in the Canadian sports broadcasting since 1989. He's an absolute legend. He's always doing the late night chat on CBC.
After hours, yeah.
After hours. Guy's an absolute beauty. And I just want to say congrats to him. Get yourself a Labatt Blue Light. That's a big, big honor. With the likes of Ryan Reynolds is the last guy I saw got appointed, which is pretty badass.
I love it. Boys, I'm going to slide one to the pride of Winnipeg. Today, earlier on Canada Day, Jimmy Duthie, announced that John Liu is retiring from TSN. TSN Winnipeg, Obi. So after 25 years in the business, the Asian sensation is calling it a career. It's had a heck of a ride. He's been in Montreal, Winnipeg, I believe Vancouver even. So hopefully John Liu is heading to Earl's on Main tonight to enjoy a little chili chicken and a cold Labatt Blue, because 25 years in that business, no joke. So Johnny Liu, get yourself one, fella.
John Liu, TSN, Montreal. Hey, there you go. John Liu, TSN, Winnipeg.
Didn't he always have the bow tie?
I'll tell you what, I was just going to say he could change his look too. His hair would go long to short, bow tie, long tie. I'm like, this guy's all options. He can play it any way you want to play it, Swishy.
Yeah, up and down the walls, Johnny Liu. I mean, like I talked about, just the Asian sensation, baby. Any way you wanted to look, the hair, the ties. He always looked like a history buff or professor at like Princeton.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He always had that just good look to him where, he learned how to read and underline maybe in college.
Yeah. They teach you how to underline in college, not the fuck scenes they don't. He always had one of the longest twigs too with the microphone on there because he's not the tallest guy. So he'd always have to he'd be like, John Liu here. And he'd just try to get the old veteran there.
He had the old Willie Mitchell in warm-ups.
Yeah. John Liu, TSN, Winnipeg. Yeah, congratulations. So boys, enjoy the blue lights. It's going to be a great summer and nothing better than an ice cold Labatt Blue during the summer. Moving on, it's the Missin Curfew. Dog of the week, fellas. Richie, you know this more than anyone. You train with me. Where was this fucking 15 years ago? 20 years ago? Shout out to the NHL PA boys. Wait up, couple of clicks. Fitness testing is no more. There is no more NHL fitness testing. The worst day in the history of mankind was when you had to go in there, do the stupid fucking medical, and then do the testing, weigh in, body fat. I don't know if they're still doing that. But boys, that tells you how much of pros these kids are that they even NHL signed off on this. Yeah. Because there's no way in my era that they were ever going to let, imagine myself or Phil Kessler or the boys, no fitness testing. We would have taken advantage of that little extra inch they gave us. So congrats to the boys. My dog of the week. Richie, no testing. You deep down probably loved the testing, didn't you?
Didn't like that. I guess that was like a stressful day, wasn't it?
Totally.
Especially like with torts or, you're just like, holy fuck, this is going to hurt. Like in torts, it was 2 days of testing. It wasn't just one.
I know.
So I was always stressed out.
You were okay. I thought deep down maybe that's what you just came in like ready chomping at the bit. Eh? Like, let's go, boys. I'm going first. Who's
You try to trickers. You want to do it first because you just want it done, and then you don't want to see guys come in and fall over. You're like, holy fuck, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You want to get it out of the way and done, and then move on. But that's probably why they gave up that extra year to get rid of that, right?
I'd give up the extra year for fucking no fitness testing. You could have the 8th year.
3-year deals. Fuck it.
Yeah, let me ask you this, boys. Like, so okay, you got an asshole coach who's known for like his crazy
Bob Hartley
fitness test.
Yeah, Bob Hartley.
Yeah, or even just Greener has hard fitness testing, and then like the practices are hard. So now that there's no off ice testing, how hard are these practices going to be the first couple? Like, you got to expect like for as happy as you are as a player to not do them, these coaches are rattled that they can't put you through it, so they're going to hit you on the ice. Do you think?
I mean,
100%.
Yeah, but you always got stung on the ice too. You still got stung. I'll tell you who it really stings is the fitness guys. They don't get their day to shine, right? They don't get their day to be like fucking pump their chest around, like, all right, let's see what you got for pull-ups. Come on. You're like, fuck off, bud. Hey, I'm on a one.
Do you guys ever play on teams that had like the most fit guy plaque?
Oh yeah.
Just looking at it, I'm like, fuck that. Fuck you. I don't know. How many goals did you get last year? 4?
Yeah.
You're fucking, you're ripped. Who cares?
I used to say, you show me the guy who wins the fitness testing, I'll show you one of the first guys sent down, but that wasn't always the case. Oh, you won the fitness testing? Oh, yeah, good luck down in Winnipeg, bud. Manitoba. All right, see you, bud.
Hey, so how funny are these guys? I'm sure like team group texts right now are just going around like, fuck, boys, can you believe it? We don't have to, like, it's got to be great.
Well,
feeling. I can just imagine.
Yeah, Switch, you have a pulse for the league. You're a younger guy. Like, I mean, you got to show up. I used to say this with the fitness testing. You got to show up in shape because if you're not in shape, like you said about the bag skates, and as soon as you start playing inter squad, you're going to get exposed in the National League. But what would you think the guys are saying in the league, Swishy, about everyone's in such good shape, huh?
Yeah, I think so. And I also think, Obi's just, you never know team to team what that fitness testing is going to be. Like, you shouldn't go into a camp and have to max deadlift. That makes no sense. You could literally, you could blow out your back day one. What does it matter if I could deadlift 250 or 410? I've never seen a goal scored in this weight room ever in my life. So as long as you can get it done on the ice, I just think it just, like you said, it's a little bit of a stress reliever, and it's also just, it creates more of the focus on your actually ability to play the game of hockey, because that's all that really matters at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me just jump in there. I mean, from the outside looking in now, like years and years retired, like, I mean, being in shape is just fucking awesome, actually, too, because you're just going to be a better fucking player. It's not bench press. It's not, high jump. It's just being the best fucking shape you can possibly be as yourself, right? And then that is from within. It shouldn't come from like a coach saying, hey, you better bench, 285 5 times this year when you come in. It shouldn't be about that. It should be about a guy, Schmaltzy, that's young and just goes, you know what? I'm going to just be way more in shape than I was last year because I'm going to fucking feel that much better. And then I can sign the big ticket. Like from the outside looking in now, that's how the kid should think. It shouldn't be just freaked out that like, oh, this fucking guy is making me do chin-ups. Like, fuck that. You know what I mean? And that's the feeling that Richie talks about. The stressful part is like, man, I got a tough shoulder and I'm going in. I got to do fucking unlimited chin-ups and then go do like a 5.5 minute plank. Like, for what? That's the stressful part.
Well, I mean, you see what some of these guys are signing for now. It's like, why wouldn't I put myself in the best possible shape I could physically to give myself a chance to cash in? That's all they're thinking these days, anyways. And nobody even really drinks. It's like,
no, and even in our era, everyone showed up in shape to camp. You had to, or you're gonna get fucked the doors blown off you. But there was these fucking nerds that were good at fitness testing. You're like, okay, good. Well, dump that puck in the corner now. Let's see who. You ready? Here we go. When's the real stuff start? Like. So to me, it's a win, and I'm sure there's some guys out there, some young guys that are a little heavy set that are smiling today, boys. So I'm thinking about you. No more fitness testing. That is a win for the players. So congrats to the union. It is milk carton time here at Missin Curfew. I got a couple, boys. Listen, the draft. I thought some of it was good. I like the celebrities, but I'm putting on the milk carton for not having the teams there. I love the look. Maybe you don't need every scout. Maybe you don't need every fucking pro scout you have. But I like the GM, the coach, the assistant GM, like sitting around on the floor with their team signs. Their first rounder comes up. They shake their fucking hands. I miss that. I think I like the idea of the celebrities coming in and announcing the picks. I think we keep that. But I want to see, Richie, we'll start with you. You've been in these meetings. But I like that feel of all the boys there, all the GMs there. And you got to think, if you want to make a trade, how easy is it when you're in LA for 2 nights and you bump into them at Craig's or fucking catch or whatever, and you got a buzz going. You're like, hey, come over here. I want to talk to you about Richardson here. What is it? I just think having him in the same city, Rich, is good. And I didn't like the look, and it wasn't working. And some of the, the first rounders trying to talk to the GM, and it froze. I'm like, this is not NHL.
Well, just even thinking of like the draft I went to in Vegas last year, like we almost like we stood at the Cosmopolitan. There was probably 6 other teams there.
Good lobby.
We kind of had our own ballroom. So literally, like Minnesota was right beside us. Another team was beside us. So you kind of have your own space, but then you come out in the main lobby and everyone's shooting the shit. Yeah. That's where shit gets done. I'm talking, another team had their hotel, and then, but having said that,
exactly,
the long fucking couple days though, especially for a pro scout, you're not doing anything. You're just sitting there like in the suite going, holy fuck, is this over yet?
Yeah, maybe we don't need to bring in every scout, right? Like,
yeah.
But the GMs and the guys that are making the big time decisions, I like them on the floor. I thought it was always a good look, but
it'd be Obes, just to your question, I know Richie, you spent a couple of years in the back office like that, but it'd be interesting to hear really from a GM and having your cap crunch guy there. And this isn't free agency, this is the draft, and the draft is way different, than having to make a decision on do we offer this guy this right now? But you're right. A lot of deals are done over an old fashioned and a steak, fucking, Richie, like you said, in Vegas. But it'd be interesting to see like if these GMs really enjoyed having like their whiteboard up on the thing, right? And as soon as the guy's drafted, they're pulling that guy off, and they're really seeing, and then having everyone with no other pressure other than just the clock. You're really able to dive in. I'd be interested to see how that feeling was.
Yeah, but also this draft too, like there's a lot of technical difficulties.
Yeah,
right? Like,
I know it was the first time, but fuck, the Wi-Fi wasn't working, eh?
And then they were talking over each other. They didn't know who was talking first. I'm like, Jesus Christ, guys.
It was a tough look. And I miss the old days of the GM. You used to see Berkey with a big chewing on the draft floor, pick the phone up. And he calls the other fucking two. I got picks the phone up. Hey, I want the Sedines. What the fuck do you want from them? Like, I miss that. Like,
I know. I like that too.
I think that's part of our game. Like, come pick up the old blower. Yeah, I'll be here. I got a second and fourth for Schmaltzy. What do you think about that? Good? All right, done. What did you think of it, Smish?
It was cheeks, man. I mean, it was just, even Adam Sandler, he announced the pick through a Zoom or an iPad. Like, he's not even there, boots on the ground. And then say you're a kid that gets drafted, and you get drafted 7th overall. You pick up the phone, and if you're that James Hagen kid, you just pick up the phone and you're talking to Don Sweeney through a FaceTime. I think that whole experience that's the best part about it. You go there with your family, you sit down, and then you get up to the stage, you shake everyone's hand. Good, you, Billy Strongarm, how you doing? And then you meet the entire staff, and then afterwards you go hang out in a suite, and they're telling you all the different things that went into drafting you, and we've been watching it. That's the coolest part about that kid's experience, and especially just being a higher pick. That was awesome, man. I mean, They can't, no matter how many games you play in the league, Obes, they can't take that away from you. So I think it's one of the coolest experiences for a 17 or an 18-year-old kid that they need to get back to.
No, just let me just one more point on this for me. But one of the reasons they did switch to this format is because last year in Vegas, a lot of guys got trapped there. All the WestJet stuff was going on, and guys couldn't get back for free agency. So guys were stuck in different cities. So that kind of fucked up a lot of teams last year. So like, let's put everyone in their city so they don't, because free agency comes so quick after the draft, right? So
then the NHL,
everyone in the same cities.
The owners get off their fucking
wall. Got all messed up. We got back literally the night before free agency to Calgary, and we literally got 4 hours of sleep before we went to the rink. So it's kind of we kind of missed probably some guys that you wanted because travel was so fucked up.
You fly everyone into the town you're in. The fucking team gets a bird. You jump on the bird as a whole fucking staff. You fly to the fucking draft. You get on the bird. You fly home. It's the NHL here. These owners can afford it.
Yeah, some of these owners are cheap.
I know, but come on. I mean, that's, to me, is outrageous. Like, that's a stupid reason. But you lived it, so it actually happens. But I never thought of it like that. I just assumed, we all fly from Calgary to LA. We get drunk for 2 days, fly back to Calgary, try to sign a few guys, see at training camp kind of thing.
Or you do, if the draft was in LA, say, you just stay there through free agency. You just stay in that city, do your free agency all together, then you go home, but.
Go stay at Shutters in Santa Monica, maybe. Treat yourself.
Bed and breakfast.
Yeah, so I don't know. We'll see how it works out. I didn't like it. I want the old school back. Last but not least, for a milk carton, listen, I know player safety is the most important thing, and I don't like the grandfathering in. Ups and Richie, back when they voted on the visors, I voted for grandfathering in. I wish I would have just voted no. If you want to wear a visor, you wear one. If you don't, you fucking don't. I wish I would have changed my vote. It was fucking stupid because it eventually just took visors out of the fucking game. And now mandatory neck guards in 2026, 27. Listen, we're probably lucky that there's not more stuff to face, and I get all that. And I don't want to see anyone get hurt. But to make a guy wear a neck guard, to me, as an ex-player, I don't like it. I'm sure they're better than when we played, but for whatever reason, call me a dinosaur, call me whatever you want. I'm putting on the milk cart. I don't think grandfathering him. You want to wear a neck guard? Wear a neck guard. You don't want to wear a neck guard, don't. Maybe I'm making too big out of this, boys. Get your opinions real quick, but I just think the grandfathering, we made a mistake with the visors, and now we're doing it with the neck guards. I don't like it.
I don't like it either. Obes, I'm on your bandwagon. I think these players, for the amount of times that it's happened and the unfortunate circumstance, and, it's completely awful when it does. I don't think it happens enough to make it mandatory in this league. I think guys, are out there, you're not allowed to kick for a reason. You can't go up and, raise your foot at a puck that's knee high in the crease. There's a lot of things put in place, rules that allow us not to kick each other. The neck guards to me seem like a lot of guys are just going to look the same. They're all going to be mad. You're going to get a rash on your neck. Like I vividly remember as a kid in Pee Wee, and like that sweaty neck guard feeling on your neck, like the way it rubs on it, it's awful. And I don't know about you boys, but I remember that, and I was happy when we had to take them off. But to me, it's going to start here. Next is going to be full visors. Next is going to be wrist guards. Next is going to be calf guards, like the whole thing. It's you're going to turn into fucking, military style.
Do you ever think there'll be full bubbles? No.
Yes.
Yes?
Yeah. I do.
Yeah. Will it be co-ed first or bubbles?
Bubbles in the National League? Oh, man.
Hey, Obi, if they're bringing neck guards into play, I think they got to bring in the old pin guard from the real round shot.
Now that's fucking hockey there. And he probably fought that night too. He probably I'll take this bucket off and fight you with a broken jaw. The real rocket talk it.
Oh, the old shin guard fella.
No, I was just joking with you guys, but then you got to wear a neck guard. What now? You got to wear a condom too on the road. You're like, hey, you got to wear a condom, kid. Oh, I don't like them. Doesn't feel as good. Doesn't feel as good. I don't like them, but anyways, maybe I'm wrong, but I think the grandfathering thing is just the NHL's way of getting what they want. But it is what it is. Moving on here, boys, around the National League. We had some trades before July 1st. We're going to finish off with back up the Brinks truck, but a couple trades that I highlighted here that I wanted to jump into you boys with. Obviously, John Gibson going to the Red Wings. He's excited, bittersweet, loves being a Duck, but I think that's a good spot for him. He's going to go in there and be a number one. You had to think Stan Bowman called, and maybe Gibby said no, but like for the Edmonton Oilers fans to see John Gibson go to Detroit, you're just like, what? But maybe he didn't want to go play in Edmonton. We don't know that. So I think that's a good trade. And then for me, Noah Dobson to the Montreal Canadiens, $8 million for 9.5. It was a guy up dog and Swishy and Richie that at the deadline, I was like, if the Oilers could somehow bring Dobson in, I think this guy's the real deal. I think he's a power play, PK, 20, 25-minute first pairing defenseman. I think he's going to flourish there. So a couple trades that jumped out to me. And then for the last one, obviously, I want to get your guys' opinion. We'll start with you, up dog. Mitch Marner to the Golden Knights for Nick Waugh, and then signs for 8 years times 12. He's going to wear number 93. Couldn't wear that in Toronto because it's Dougie Gilmore's number. But what are your first impressions on that, up dog? And then we'll go around the horn, boys.
Yeah, I think I mentioned it earlier, boys. Taking an 8-year deal, I think it's, for him, he feels like he's worked his balls off. He was in Toronto as a Toronto kid. As heartbreaking as it was to not, make it work and not find the ultimate goal there. This is a big move. This is Las Vegas Golden Knights are competitive every year. They're a great team. They just announced today that Petro, isn't coming back, is most likely stepping away from hockey. So, they have the cap space. I don't know how they always make it work, Obes. Our boy Pickup being an investor, we're always talking Las Vegas Golden Knights. They always seem to be making moves at the deadline and making big splashes at free agency. But this is obviously the big one. Look, same deal as Rantanen. Who do you like? You look at the Rantanen deal. He came in on his old deal, had an incredible playoffs. He's big. He's got almost double the amount of points in the Stanley Cup playoffs as Marner does. He's won a Stanley Cup. So, in a way, who do you want on your team? I'd be probably taking Rantanen, but for Mitch Marner, I think, now let's see what you got. You're out of Toronto. You're out of that, Toronto media phase. Can you Can you figure out how to grow a sack and help bring another championship to the Las Vegas Golden Knights? But I mean, I like the fit. I think the Vegas Golden Knights would be a good fit for him.
Marner, Stone, Eichel, Hurdle, Theodore, Hill. Is that a good enough core to win? And do they have enough sandpaper, Obi? That's what I'm wondering. I'm looking at that core of players there. Stone, obviously, he's banged up a lot. Love Eichel's game. I still have question marks on Hurdle, and Theo's been hurt a little bit as well. And now you bring in Mitchie Marner. Is that good enough? Or is that a good enough core 6 players to
I like
Stanley Cup?
Add Hannafin in there.
Yes,
long term.
Sure.
Is it good enough? Aiden Hill, like if he's kicking, I mean, Vegas has just always been able to play. I think Ike's is so good, boys, and both sides of it. I think he's still got better. Hurdle needs to be better, but you look at the centerman. If Mark Stone can stay healthy, they're a competitive team, boys. If Stone's healthy,
Rich,
Dorofeev's too, 35 goals last year as well.
Yeah, he's a good player. You know who's a sneaky little pickup? Colton Sissons, the fourth line center, is a good little player too.
Yeah, and
fourth line center.
I couldn't agree. I had that written down, Rich. And Swishy, to answer your question, I still think they're too soft. I thought they looked soft against Edmonton. Losing Nick Hag, to me, is a heartbreaker for him. Lauzon and Sissons. Lauzon's a nice 5'6", plays with some jam, but he's no Nick Hag. He's not as big and kind of as mean as him. But I'm with you on Sissons. That's how you say it, right, Rich?
Yeah, Sissons.
He's a nice player that can play up and down your lineup and brings you some jam. But to me, bringing in Mitch Marner, listen, he's going to be a great regular season player. He's going to help the Vegas Knights because they couldn't really score goals last year. He's going to help with that. He's going to help their penalty kill because their penalty kill wasn't perfect. He's probably going to get 100 points, maybe more, playing with Ikes. But to me, Swishy, to answer your question, when I look at this hockey club, to win, I still think they're too soft, in my opinion. I don't think they got the jam to do it, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I think Barbashev was banged up in the playoffs. Yeah, he wasn't as physical as he usually is, but we've discussed this guy a lot, especially during the regular season and into playoffs. Can Keegan Colasar get back to playing like a dog? Like
my boy T-Rex hates Keegan Colasar for that reason, Swishy, because, and listen, I get it. Like, he was never that tough, and he would come in and fight, and he wins a cup, and he gets his $2.5 million a year. It's tough to keep that fight. Like, you want to go out and fight, but he has to do that to be a difference maker in the league. He can't just try to go out and make plays. He's not skilled enough. But right now, that's all he wants to do. He doesn't really want to chuck him anymore, which a cup and some money will do that. But I'm not saying it's right.
But when they were good, they had that pack of hyenas in their bottom 6. Like Carrier.
They missed Carrier. They missed Carrier, Stolwatch.
That's what Florida had.
Yeah.
That's what works. So can they get back to finding those guys to implement them into their lineup, especially for fourth lines? Like, you need that, man.
They need a little meat in there. They definitely do.
They need a little meat. Maybe bring Ryan Reeves back. Bring Reeves back for $1 million, eh? Slide him back to Vegas.
Still lives there. So
why don't you
tell him to show up?
Job Reeves. And from the Toronto side, listen, Nick Waugh, big, lengthy, pretty good two-way center. Send him some fella hats. He loves the word fella, so Ike's got me send him some fella hats. So he likes that. But I think it's a good pickup. And for Toronto, Richie and Updog, you guys are forwards. And Richie, like you said, you've been in the war rooms. You look at Nick Waugh had 40 points. Machelli had 60 points. There's 100 points. Is that how you look at it from an organizational standpoint? Like, okay, Marner's 100 points are gone. We just brought guys in, 2 guys that equal 100 points. Is that how you try to fix that hole, so to speak?
Yeah, because let's be honest, it's hard to find 100. What is there, 6 or 7 guys that have 100 points? So they're tough to find. But yeah, that's what you kind of do. You got to piece it together. And don't forget, if Pizzetta, would he have 6 points or something?
Yeah,
106.
Yeah, 106. The pizza man there, Pizzetta. Someone's going to beat the wheels off of him.
That's the guy that you could put on Vegas right now, and I'd be happy with him running around my fourth line.
Yeah.
Yep. You know what I mean? I like those guys. Juice, energy, fight, run through a wall. But I don't know. It's tough to replace 100 points, though.
Yeah, but you're replacing it with, a third the cost, too, right? Then you're going to find, you're hopefully, mid-season, or you can add. And it's all about not being handcuffed come, if you see your team, and Dale Talon often said this, too, but you always overpay on free agency day. So maybe you sit back and it's done through a trade when you see actually, Richie, how your team is, right? Like, what is the team come October, November, December? Yep. And then how do we address it there? Instead of like, just fucking throwing shit at the wall, July 1 overpaying, and then being caught at the cap again come.
For sure. And, like every team, obviously, you go through a tedious work of ranking every player. Obviously, every free agent, you rank best right wingers, best centerman, best left wingers, right D, lefty, and then you do it. We had a tough guy list too. Who's the guys who are toughness? And you go, who's your number one on your list? Who's two? And then obviously as they go, you check them off. And some of those guys will sit there until September. And then you go, maybe let's make a call on this tough guy and see what we can do.
I know the feeling. Yeah. I fucking know the feeling, bud. I heard your buddy Dale Talon there on one of the NHL alumni thing, but talking about July 1st. He's like, then it swings in August, and we get it comes back to us where we can kind of dictate. I'm like, did you ever, Dale? Did you ever just kind of, hey, you want to come to camp? You get a PTO. How do you like that? Yeah. Hey, Swishy, there. I wanted to ask you about this Michelli. I watched him play for the hockey club, a.k.a. Mammoth. Little water bug, but like pretty good player. Like this depth chart's got him playing with Matthews and Eyes. Is he that good?
I mean, he's good, Obi. I mean, I watched him a ton, especially playing, at the iconic mullet 2 seasons ago when I was going to a lot of the home games there. I mean, his feet are really good. The way he can cut in and out of cutbacks, especially he's a guy that uses the high ice really well in terms of creating chances off the cycle, spreading a defense out. I just wonder how patient a guy like Craig Berube is going to be with him, because say he doesn't start off the way he wants, say he's playing a little bit too much east-west instead of north. Is he a guy that's going to fall down the lineup and he's going to be used how he was last year in Utah, where he's not even playing on the power play, he's playing 10 to 12 minutes, he's in and out of the lineup? To me, then he's obviously not as effective as another player could be in the middle 6 or even the bottom 6. So that's the one thing I wonder, because he is a magician with the puck, man. I saw a highlight reel just reminded me the other day, 2 seasons ago, when he had 57 points. I mean, he had a hell of a year. And the way he can extend plays, the way he can use, obviously, the cutbacks in and out of cycles, he's got a lot of creativity and a lot of potential, and he can play with those high-end players. So I'm just curious how patient they're going to be with him and how long that leash will be when he goes into Toronto and gets adjusted to how they play it.
Yeah. Just one more point on him. I don't know Schmaltz, but I think he's a great passer. Unbelievable passer. He kind of reminds me a lot of, he plays a lot like Kells. He's kind of a poor man's Keller trying to come up and do off the high cycle stuff. But this year he looked scared to me when he played. I thought he looked timid and scared.
He'll fit right in there, Toronto. He'll fit right in there. Perfect.
Should be fine. But no, he's got to learn how to play, or he's, like you said, he's going to be down the lineup in a hurry if he doesn't learn how to get to the perimeter a little bit.
Yeah, I think he was just fighting his confidence, and he was in and out of the lineup. And as a young player too, you getting that, especially riding the high that he had last year, and then figuring out like, holy shit, like kind of lost my spot here. So hopefully the change of scenery will help him out.
Doesn't take long to lose your spot. It's hard to get back when you lose today. You're like, oh fuck, what color's that jersey? Red? Shit. Fuck. Fuck. Hey, down the pipe for the Buds: Matthews, Tavares, Waugh, Roy, Scotty Lawton. Not bad. Pretty good centers. So. You got to give Tree credit, man. You got Nyes locked up, which brings us right into our last segment here, boys. UFA July 1st. Back up the Brinks truck. Beep, beep, beep. Back her up. There's been some contracts. Why don't we start with you, boys? Why don't we start with you, Richie? Any ones that you want to talk about or jumped out to you that you're either surprised with or jealous of? You maybe want to jump back on the bike or go for a run around Pine Canyon? See if you can maybe stretch. Hey, see ya, Jess. I'm going for a run. I'll be back.
That ain't gonna be happening, but no, I don't know if there's. There's a few friends on here like Christian Dvorak. We talked about him happy for Nick Cousins, Belleville boy, back with Ottawa. But I think for me, I thought LA did a great job.
Yeah,
I'm really happy with what they did, and bringing in a couple. They needed some D. We talked about that in playoff time. They looked a little weak in that 5-6 spot. I think they did a great job. Bringing in a guy like Pears, got Kuzmenko back, who fit in pretty well there. Got a backup goalie who I think is an upgrade from who they had last year. I don't know. I think they did a great job. I like what Utah did as well. I'm a little surprised on some teams that didn't do anything, but even they signed 1 or 2 guys. But
I'm a little surprised. Like Chicago, pretty quiet, right?
Yeah,
they're just.
I thought they were going to be heavy in because I think they're still like way below them.
Yeah, they got to get to the floor. It's like I was surprised by them. I'm with you. I love what LA did. I think bringing Dumoulin and CC in for a combined $9 million is pretty good. Armenia, is that how you say his name from Montreal? Armia. I think he's a good two-way guy. And then if you bring the Worm in, back in Southern California, the Worm, I'm going to go up to Staples or Crypto a few more times this year to watch the Worm muck it up. So I think Stoley and the boys there, Kenny Hall, you got to give them credit. They wanted to be aggressive, and they were, Rich.
Yep. They certainly were. I think they're a better team than they were at the end of the year.
Yeah. Swishy?
Obes. Obes, quickly, I just wanted to point out, how about that Dante Fabro deal? 4 years at 4.
That one was a shocker.
He was out of the league, Richie. He has a waiver wire. They took a flyer on this kid. He played okay in Columbus, but he was almost D-to-D out of the league, and that gets 16.5. Like, what a deal for him.
Yeah, that good for him. Get it while you can.
Richie, why do you have to give a guy like that 4 years? Just if you're thinking like a manager or a scout, why wouldn't it just be a 1 or a 2 year deal? Because you could probably get away with a 1 or a 2 year deal.
Yeah.
A guy like that.
I was shocked on that one too because he did play really well at the end of the year for them. But I was shocked. I thought he'd get like a 2 year deal at 1.5 or something, and kind of say, do it again. I always like to say, do it once. I got to see it again, and then especially a young guy like that who's been up and down so much. But good for him. He's a great guy. I love the kid. But he's a great kid. But I was a little shocked on that one.
Another one you could throw there in for putting the fucking face mask on and fucking going in and robbing the bank. Hey, Tanner Jeannot, 5 years, $17 million. Listen, I love this kid's game. Good Saskatchewan boy. Hey, Swishy, no, never met a bad guy from Saskatchewan. Physical, can fight anyone, does have some offensive upside to his game. But to me, when you're Don Sweeney, like, why give him 5 years? Like, was there another team that was offering him 4? Like, I just can't imagine that they had to go another year to get him. Like, even a 2 year deal at $3 million would have been like, wow, good for Tanner Jeannot. So that one to me is the best agent award goes to Tanner Jeannot. And then Swishy, the one that to me, I was just like, fuck. Kevin Ball, 6 years, 32 bananas in Calgary. That one to me, I was like, good for you, but I'm jealous. I'm not going to lie. I'm fucking jealous.
Yeah, a big fella. I want to just the Jeannot one, though. Do you think that...
Yeah, me too. I want to jump in on this too, Schmaltzy. Go for it.
So I want to ask you, does Don Sweeney look at the deal that Trent Frederick got in Edmonton? He sees a guy that he let go that's a similar style. Jeannot probably a little bit tougher, as well as, I would say maybe Frederick a little bit of better scoring touch, especially as of late. Does he look at that deal and be like, oh, fuck, I got to replace a guy that I let go, and now he brings in and overpays for Jeannot?
Okay, so 2 parts to your question. I think so, yes. But, like, peeling apart the banana here, I think it's because of the deal that he did with Marchand, getting Marchand to Florida. And now he's going, fuck, I cannot have the Florida Panthers come into my barn with Marchand there for 6 years, kicking the shit out of us with toughness, with skill, with everything, and not have a guy that's played against Florida that, Jeannot was in Tampa, a lot of good, like, battles with Tampa. I think he's going to be the guy that can stick up for, when Bennett's running around and Marchand's, running his mouth in Boston. He can't have his Boston Bruins fans being like, fuck, the Florida Panthers are coming in with our old captain and kicking the shit out of us. So I look at it more like that. Like, okay, so he's got him for 5 years. It's going to be 5 years and maybe some heartache playing the fucking Florida Panthers, but we're going to be tough.
Yeah. I think you're probably bang on there, Uppy.
Yeah, that's a good take.
Yeah, you can be tough for fucking $1.5 million a year, for fuck's sakes. I mean,
I think the amount of money there, but the term, tough. The term for sure.
Yeah. Well, they brought Corrali in too, who's kind of a tougher style player too. But
it's his agent going like,
who's his agent? Look at KC. Look at his fucking agent
going to Sweeney Obes going, you know what? You want to get the fucking shit kicked out of you by Florida? This is the only guy in the free agency list right now that'll fight Bennett, that'll fight fucking anybody on that team.
Yeah.
Anyone else, you're not making a splash. So what are you going to do?
If you don't want Marchand to come back here and run around like he's going to do whatever he wants, you better sign somebody. I can see that. That's some good leverage.
Yeah.
We just got a big Canes one. Andre Miller of the Canes.
Yeah, I saw that was rumored.
8.75. Fuck, that's a nice little ticket too.
No way. Not for a year.
8 years at 7.5 a year.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
You know what?
Stick handle.
You know what? Andre Miller, but he might be better Swishy on the man-on-man, because when he's got to try to fucking play within the zone or whatever, he is fucking lost. So maybe you just let him go and say, hey, follow that guy. Follow him in the D zone and don't lose him, because he can skate like the wind, my man.
Yeah, but how's his computer up top? Like,
no, his tools. No, his tool shed's a little light on fucking wrenches.
That's not even 3G.
That's a ticket. Wow.
Oh, wow. Good for him.
Teddy Purcell texting the boys.
7 in a hook.
Because he went to see it up.
7 in a hook.
Holy fuck.
That's a night. Yeah, I think he's one guy that's going to flourish on the man-on-man. Like I said, you just let him go. But what about Morgan Geekie? 6 years, $33 million in Boston. Like, did he have a good year last year?
Yeah, he had a great year.
Did he? Okay.
35 goals.
Okay, so all right.
He had a good year.
Do you think there was other teams lining up to give him 6 years, Rich? Like, you think the Calgary Flames and Colony and the boys were like, I can't wait for July 1st. It's Morgan Geekie. I'm going to give him 6 years, $33 million.
I don't know if that's
Because scoring's hard,
number.
right? Yeah.
Scoring, it's hard to find scores, and I think Boston obviously needed to keep someone there. Their roster is pretty thin.
Yeah. No, I know. I picked them to win the East last year. Ooh, tough one. Yeah, their roster's thin.
Like, if you're looking at the DK betting odds, how many more times in his career, and I hope he does it a bunch, but how many more times is Morgan Geekie going to score 33 goals?
Yeah, I thought you give this guy 6 years deal.
Like, his career high before that was 17 the year before, and then it's 9-7-3. I mean, he's early into his career. I'm just, it's a fair question.
He could shoot. Schmaltzy. Yeah, he could shoot, but now that he's making this money, he'll be in more opportunities than he ever has. So when you get that 6-year ticket, you get 2 years to fuck it all up until they really go wow, we made a mistake,
Right.
He's going to be first line power play. He's going to be in his positions, and they're going to want him to try to go get that and more every year. So,
for sure.
Richie, you know that.
Mm-hmm.
We were never part of that group, but
No, we weren't. Me either. And by the way, I'm happy for all these guys. I'm jealous as fuck, and I'm trying to figure it out here, boys, as we go along.
Just one guy. I was just kind of scrolling through here. I don't really know this kid that well. That Faravari in Washington. What's he like? Is he that good a player? He got $42 million.
He's a D-man, right?
Yeah, 47 years, $6 million per year. I'm like, I don't really know who he is, but
yeah, he's not bad. How much you get? How much?
he got $42 million.
Holy fick!
I like his game.
He's not bad. Left-handed good skater, right, Swishy?
Yep. Yeah.
He turns really well, Obi, too.
He fucking better.
He's got a good pivot.
He fucking better be able to turn.
Does ball turn well? I don't know.
Ball, that one, I might, what am I, 41? If I lose 70 pounds and start, is there any way that I could get a PTO in Calgary? I was just like, wow, I'm happy for him. I think, he plays hard. I know you want to reward him because you traded for him, but it's just like, maybe you want him to feel comfortable. And this is what he has now. So I was jealous about that one, boys. Edmonton Oilers. Up dog, we can start with you if you want. Evan Bouchard, 10 in the hook. Now, this is where I want to go with this. He's an RFA, correct?
Yeah.
So if somebody wanted to give him this contract, if they would have went to 11, let's say, on an offer sheet, 4 first-round picks the Oilers would have got. If somebody offer sheeted Bouchard for $11 million, if they would have given him 10.5, they would have got 2 first-rounders in the next 3 drafts, a second-rounder in 26, and a third-rounder in 26. My question to you guys is, how much leverage did Bouchard have here that they had to give him 10.5? Why not 4 times 8? McCarr makes what, 9?
Well, you lose Connor McDavid, Obes, if that's the case. If you lose Bouchard to that deal right there,
yeah,
you lose Connor McDavid, you lose your whole team, you lose half your fans, you lose any chance of you ever being good for the next 6-7 years. There are things.
You think Bouchard's that important to the hockey club, huh?
Yeah, I do. I really do. I look at the points he's got in the.
I don't give a fuck about his points. I know he's got points. I could get points on that power play, and he can shoot it. I'm talking about his full 200-foot fucking game to win the Stanley Cup is what I'm talking.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's valuable. I think.
So you got no problem that him and Nurse are making $20 million together?
No, I have the problem with Nurse for sure. I have the problem with Nurse, and I just the Oilers they're swimming up creek, boys, with no fucking paddle, and unfortunately, if they lost Bouchard to that Obi right there, an offer sheet, you can kiss Connor McDavid goodbye.
Do you think, Richie, somebody would have offer sheeted Bouchard for $10.5 million? I don't think I will give, before you jump in, I will give Dion enough credit. When we were at the LA Kings Oilers game, I was talking to Dion. Dion was agreeing with what I was saying about his overall game, and Dion's like, oh, someone's going to give this guy $10 million a year. And I went, you're fucking nuts. There's no way he's going to get 10. Well, double Dion was right.
Yeah, and I think Uppy's right. He's very important on the team. He puts up a lot of points. He runs the power play. You lose him, that D's real thin, and it already is thin. And you're right, Connor McDavid's gone, and I think he's still probably gone. But I don't know. I don't love the player.
You can always match it.
That's what it is.
You can always match it, right? Like, I'm just saying, like, to give it to him. Listen, I'm not a GM, and I've never been a scout like you, Rich. I'm just going from what I'm watching. Like, why not stand by and be like, all right, go see what you can get there, fella. And maybe it's crickets. Maybe it is crickets. Maybe somebody does, or maybe somebody jumps up and offers them, and then you just match it.
I'd probably take the 4 first-round picks. I got to be honest with you.
How about this?
Especially if McDavid's leaving town.
Yeah.
I would love to hear like Elliot Friedman break down how much you would get if he went to arbitration with that stats. Like, yeah, they're going to chirp his game defensively, but when he shows like Paul Coffey numbers in the power, as that age group compared to Makar, compared to all these guys,
he can bomb it. I'm not saying he can bomb it, but he gets some looks that you put Swishy out there on that power play. He's going to fucking bury him. He gets some looks that other guys in the league don't get, Uppy, because of McDavid and Draisaitl.
Know that. A judge won't know that. So at arbitration, like he might get a 2-year, 12.5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What would you feel comfortable paying him on an AAV for a 4-year?
$8 million, 4 times 8.
You got to pay him more than that, no?
I think they just gave Deandre Miller or whatever
Deandre Miller. Uppy, you're talking all power play. You seen this guy playing his own end? It's a fucking nightmare, bud. Uppy, all you're thinking about is sitting on your couch, drinking wine, watching some rip one-timers. I get that. I'm talking about watching this guy playing his own end. He's not a $10.5 million defenseman night in and night out. He is not. I don't care what his numbers say.
He's probably a $2 million defensive player.
Pardon?
He's probably worth $2 million if you put him in a defensive zone.
Okay, so let's
He's one of the worst.
He's one of the worst. He's fucking awful, Uppy. He is awful. He's terrible.
He's a $10 million offensive player. He's a $2 million defensive player. He's fucking brutal.
Yeah, okay, so let's meet in the middle. 6 bananas. Fucking on. There you go. He's a liability in his own end-ups. And I will give him credit that come playoff time, he does turn it up. The last 2 years, he does. I just think 10.5's a lot of dough. I guess that's what his market would have been. I don't know. But to me, and I've always been hard on this kid, and maybe it's jealousy or whatever, but I just think in his own end, he's not a $10.5 million defenseman.
What did Adam Fox get?
Adam Fox stinks too. If that's your comparison, he stinks.
Both righties, both
he's slow.
Probably got 8.5.
Yeah. After he won the Norris.
Yeah, well, that's I would have probably.
Does Evan Bouchard ever win a Norris?
No.
No, not with the D that are out. No.
So let me tell you this, Up. So you're Stan Bowman, and maybe McDavid's going to sign. He probably will. But now he doesn't. He leaves. Now you got Bouchard for $10.5 million and no McDavid. It's like, I don't know. Like before I guess you can't risk losing him, but like, wouldn't you want to lock up McDavid before you could get maybe 4 first-round picks for this guy?
How about this? I would say that there's 80% of the teams out there that would take Evan Bouchard at this deal right now. I would say name a team. Of the teams. I would say any team in contention right now would take that contract and say, that's our number one power play D, ripping pucks like that with his experience in the finals. I'd take him. If you have any sort of power play, I'd take that guy.
I was just going to say, who would you rather have on that power? Would you rather have Noah Dobson on that power play or Evan Bouchard?
I'd rather
power play.
Evan Bouchard's a better power play guy. I'd rather have Noah Dobson any day of the week in an 82-game season than Evan Bouchard. And he can take Evan's spot on the power play. He's probably not going to get as many points or goals as Bouchard, but he can still do it with McDavid and Draisaitl giving him those looks. I mean, Bouchard gets looks, boys, that nobody else in the league gets. Nobody. Like, he gets it where he can come down the pipe and there's nobody there because McDavid and Draisaitl have fucking, I don't know.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
He's in the right place at the right time.
Hey, I'm happy for him too. I'm thinking if you're the Oilers and you're trying to, like, what's their cap space right now? Like, they don't have a goal. Uppy, they don't have a goalie. They still don't have a fucking goalie, Ups.
I know. They just lost, like, what did they lose? Arvidsson, Perry, Connor Brown. And by the way, that was my guy. I think the Devils did a good job today with Jake Allen and Connor Brown.
So you got $4.5 million in cap space. Like, I just don't think I don't think he like took a discount for them or anything to try to win a cup. He took less term, but he took every fucking cent he could get, which I guess you're supposed to do. But now it's like they have so many holes that they need to fix, and they're so close to winning.
Yeah, but even just internally, there's no way he's going to take less than Darnell Nurse. He won't, right? Like, there's no way you could get him signed for, I don't think, anything less than that, Obes. I really don't.
No, I agree. He 4 years. That's why it's shorter term. It's not 8 years. It's 4 years because of that.
That was, from what I heard, just from all the insiders, that was his choice. They offered him fucking 8 times 10.5, from what I've heard. And he said, I want 4. Because if McDavid leaves, I'm sure he's leaving too. But.
Well, and maybe there's look through the lines on that. Maybe McDavid, maybe he knows that Connor's only going to do a 2 or 3 year deal, and he doesn't want to be stuck there forever. Like, that's a smart play. I think Connor's taking a 2-year deal and saying, Bowman, you got 2 years to fucking figure this out. And if you do figure it out, I'll sign another 4-year deal, but I'm not signing more than 2. That's what I think Connor McDavid.
I want to know how many teams would take Evan Bouchard for 10.5. Ducks, too cheap. Boston,
no, contenders.
Contenders, okay. Avalanche, no.
How about Tampa?
Tampa
Mike.
Tampa might, because they could play with Hedman. Tampa. Keep going.
Toronto?
Montreal.
Montreal's got Dobson.
Okay.
Montreal, no.
Carolina?
Well,
No.
they just signed, they signed, what's his name? How about the Jets, Winnipeg Jets?
They got Morrissey.
No.
Yeah, but perfect. Play with Morrissey. Boom.
And they got that other righty on their team.
Vancouver
Yeah,
with
fine. Neil Ponick, who can rip it too.
Vancouver.
I'm just saying you'd have to move to get him in there, but
They're not a contender, though.
No, but they would.
The Canucks? Yeah, they'd probably take him.
Yeah.
Listen, timing's everything, and like you said, Uppy, he couldn't leave town because McDavid would have been choked, so good on him. I don't think he's a $10.5 million defenseman, but hey, it is what it is. Any other ones you guys want to touch on there? You want to just leave it with a heated battle on Evan Bouchard? Hey. I got a couple.
Luck, boys. I just wish, man, I would hate to be him right now. That's one thing.
Who?
Stan Bowman. I would hate to be in his shoes right now.
Well, he didn't do it. He looks like he's sleeping. He didn't on anybody.
I know. What a tough. He's got the toughest job in the league.
Look at their team right now. If you went,
she's icy thin.
Okay, I got a couple more here. Although I do love the Evan Bouchard heated battle. I'm going to take some heat from some Oilers fans on that. Bring it on. Hey, Swishy, your boy Brock Besser. Interesting how this played out, fella. Did he test the market and then decide to come back? Because he gave up a year. He could have got 8 if he did it before today, and he just decided to take 7 at 7.25, which I honestly thought he was leaving town. Did you hear anything at all like that you can say, or are you shocked that did he only want 7 the whole time?
No, I don't think I think when he left Vancouver and even after the trade deadline, it was kind of known knowledge that he wasn't going to return. Okay, and then you fast forward to this week or even days leading up to UFA, I don't think there was a ton of big number deals in terms of just term, right? I think there was one other team, I'm not going to say who it was, in the mix for Best, but ultimately, he chose to stay in Vancouver, and the dollar figure on that other deal was pretty similar. I think it was roughly the same deal, but isn't it crazy that basically he was out the whole time and everyone thought that, and it's just like they bring him back, and I don't know. I just think that whole thing is crazy. Obes, it's like when you kick out your girlfriend, dude, and you tell her to pack your shit. Everyone's on the same page. Hey, this thing's over, and the next thing you know, she's coming back. We're like, yeah, well, I kind of actually want you to move back in here, honey. Like, I don't know. I think it's kind of it's a weird deal how that love affair went down. Happy for Bess, obviously 50 bananas in the bank, and I'm glad he got his money. But just an interesting way how everything played out.
Yeah, listen, the guy was a 40 goal scorer 2 years ago. I think he got 25 last year. We talk about Uppy's Oilers. I was just thinking, like, if you were him, imagine just going in and playing. I guess they got Hyman, but imagine Draisaitl and Brock Besser.
Yeah.
Like, fuck. I mean, he gets some looks that he's not getting in Vancouver.
I think there was probably interest there, but I don't think it was a long-term deal.
Yeah.
I think it was 2 or 3 years maybe. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's just so much uncertainty in Edmonton too, like Uppy said, right? With no one knows what 97 is doing. Last but not least on the UFA stuff, boys, the Toronto Maple Leafs. I just wanted to give some love to John Tavares. That's a hometown discount. I know he's made tons of money, but he probably left in the open market. Maybe $2 million a year on the table. So good for him. And I love the Matty Nyes deal. I think Tree did a great job. 6 years, $46 million. I think both of those contracts are good for the Leafs, and I just think Johnny T, you got to give him credit, boys. That's a hometown discount, my man.
Big time.
Yeah,
big time.
Yeah. So I'm cheering for the Leafs. I'm cheering for the Leafs. Now I got to watch Mitch Marner out here with Vegas, though. I got to watch him out here.
Wearing your favorite guy's number too.
93. I know. He's going to be so good in the regular season, but we'll see what happens.
Jed, right? He's your favorite guy.
Who is? Dougie Gilmore.
Zibanejad?
Zibanejad.
Jesse sent Obes a nice Evan Bouchard tarp, eh?
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. I can't. I mean, hey, good for him. It is what it is.
Your boy Perry's gone, so now you need a new jersey to wear.
It's a collector's item. That's a collector's item now. I got to get the Stanley Cup thing sewn back on it, but hey, to all the guys, congratulations. Just bitter grapes here for me. Hey, I'm just jealous. Good for you boys. Get it while you can. It won't last forever. Last but not least here, boys, it's the Jägermeister Iciest Shot of the Night. Presented by Jägermeister. Serve it cold or don't serve it at all. Jägermeister. Damn, that's cold. For more info, visit Jägermeister.com. And fellas, always drink responsibly. Boys, fighting. We're going to UFC 317. Poirier versus Olivier. Charles Oliveira, sorry. Poirier versus Oliveira. Poirier went up to lightweight. He was the featherweight champ. He moved up to the lightweight. The Jäger Iciest Shot of the Night. A quick little left jab and a right down the pipe. Damn, that's cold. And finished it off with a left hook. He knocked him out. No one has ever knocked Charles Oliveira out. Ilia Topuria moved up, knocked him out in the first round. This guy's got a little McGregor stuff going, boys. Like, he's the next superstar. He's now 17 or 18-0. That is our Jäger Iciest Shot of the Night. I don't know if you boys seen it or not, but the right down the pipe, turn the lights out. Good night, Jimmy Kite. He was out cold.
I didn't see it, but boy, that doesn't sound. I wouldn't want to be on the receiving end of that.
It was just a jab, and I mean the tightest right fucking you've ever seen, followed by a left, and Oliveira. Good night. So,
Obi, is that Poirier? Is that his last fight too, or is he?
Dustin Poirier is fighting Max Holloway for the BMF in his hometown of New Orleans. That is his retirement fight. That is coming up this month, I believe. Yeah, in July.
Gotcha.
But that was International Fight Week. Ilia Topuria versus Charles Oliveira. It was unbelievable. This guy's, if you're not big MMA guys, this guy's got a little McGregor to him. He's got a smoking hot Spanish wife, brunette, Rocket, and beautiful little kid. And he has that McGregor aura about him that he's just knocking guys out. He knocked out Volk, Holloway, and Oliveira. 3 like guys that have never really been knocked out. So that is our Jäger Iciest Shot of the Night. Fellas, Updog, thank you. Enjoy Aspen. Richie, fella, enjoy the friendly confines of Pine Canyon. Swishy, get in that lake. Hey, tie the boats together. Hey, just throw the rope. Throw the rope. Pull them in. So thanks, boys. It's always fun. Thank you to Hall Pass Media, Kyle, Casey Conway, Max, the Ice Pick Pickup. That was Missin Curfew. Valas.